Well, this movie does kind of prove that we evolved from apes. I mean, where else did we get resting bitch face from? Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, starring Apes. This is a sequel to the prequel. I just love saying that. This is a sequel to the prequel, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, that came out 2 summers ago, I think. This takes place right after the virus that was created in the lab in Rise of the Planet of the Apes spreads across the world, and there are only so many humans left. And there are a buttload of apes. The group of humans who survived in San Francisco have built a little community trying to rebuild what they lost. While searching in the woods one day, they come in contact with some apes. From there on in, we see the conflict that both arises in the colony of humans and the colony of the apes. While the movie was pretty good as a whole, it lacked a bit in the character development of the human characters. We get a lot from the apes though, which is really great. But I feel like for this movie to work more, you need kind of an equal sense of the apes and the human characters, and that just doesn't happen in this movie. I mean, the main guy was cool, but I wish we had more of his backstory so we could connect with him more. It was more just that guy who's, the good guy, and he's gonna side with the apes. And then you have Gary Oldman, who's the bad guy. Well, not really bad guy, but, the one who doesn't want to side with the apes and is just looking out for the human race. And it's just kind of, the characters are predictable. I mean, basically, this is the Apes movie. Which, again, is fine. It was really interesting. The scenes with the apes are probably the best. And there's some really scary moments as well with Koba, who is the bad guy of the film, basically. He is terrifying. Even though whenever you hear his name, you can't help but start singing Koba, Koba Cabana, and it's just weird. But again, the apes are pretty darn impressive, and the CGI is good. It's obviously with the motion capture, the expressiveness really comes out, and that's very helpful. And again, I was more invested with the apes than the humans, and maybe that's the point because obviously we know what happens. We know that the apes end up, living, and the humans at some point just become extinct, I guess, or leave at some point. And maybe the point of not connecting to the humans more is because they're going to be gone at some point, and it's just going to be the apes. But I feel like for it to be more emotional, we should connect with the humans more. And the scenes with the main guy and Kerry Russell's character are so cheesy, and that is solely because there's music during the scenes that they have together. Every scene they have, just the two of them, there is music score. It's in the background. I really like scores for movies, usually. It doesn't really bother me. Usually the placement's good and it makes sense. But in this movie, it really stuck out where music was in scenes where it should not have been. I feel like the music was there in those scenes to tell the audience, okay, so now you're supposed to feel this emotion. It's really distracting, and it takes away from the scenes itself and the acting. And that's no. And it happened a lot. And even the one scene where it's like a huge moment and the music's just really overwhelming and you're just like, okay, I get it. Everything's going to crap. I don't need to salt my ears. And again, the fact that we didn't see more of the human characters made them more predictable and less interesting. Again, it just would have been a more interesting film if it was equal. Because if the human characters overshadowed the apes, that wouldn't have been any good either. And I guess it's better to have the apes overshadow the humans because, again, the apes do end up taking over the world. So I'm gonna give Dawn of the Planet of the Apes a nice, which is 4 to 5 stars. But what did you guys think of it compared to Rise of the Planet of the Apes? Did you find this one more interesting? If you're a fan of the whole series, do you think these new movies are doing any good? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. Alright guys, that's it from me. Hope you're having a great day, and I will see you soon. Toodles!